our channel. I'm Jen and this is Farabee, and today I have some knitting content, some sewing, some cross stitch, so a lot of exciting craft things to talk about. But before we get started, of course I want to say thank you to everyone who's joining us today. We really appreciate you being here, and if you're interested in finding us online anywhere else other than here, you can follow Farabee on Instagram. She is Farabee_Fable. I am Knit in the Zone on Instagram. I am Nitty Gritty Vegan on Ravelry, and my hand-dyed yarn shop is traintrackfiberdesigns.com. So, all right, let's get started. So the first thing I have to share with you today, brought my basket, so you know it's serious. So the first thing I have to share with you today is the progress on my cross stitch. It doesn't look like a lot probably from this far away, but what I've done is I've actually gone through and filled in anywhere that I was missing colors from, and I've started on this, I guess it's the fourth panel because it's 3 panels across and then 3 panels across, so 6 panels total, 3 on top, 3 on the bottom. But I've started on this panel and I've made a little bit of progress. I'm very happy with this. This takes forever though. I'm a very slow cross stitcher. So I think it's really pretty and I'm very happy with it. I've also gone around and done all of this little border right here, which I don't know if you can tell, but I'll put a close up in there, but there's actually border all around. So I've done that. That took probably longer than it should have, just because I wasn't sure how far away it was supposed to be on all of it. I don't know if that makes sense. So I did that. Like I said, I filled in all the blanks that were missing stuff for the most part. There is still like 2 or 3 little places, but I haven't gotten those colors out for over here yet. So I'm doing it kind of as I go along. But then I've started on this mountain part over here and I'm just happy with it. I'm learning a little bit more about, I keep wanting to call it yarn management, but thread management. And if you can see over here is really shitty. And then over here is kind of getting better, where I've kind of gotten better at it. So I think right here was pretty okay. And then, yeah, there's just a lot of strings and stuff. And I've never obviously looked at the back of anyone's cross stitch projects to see, you know, how people do thread management. And whenever I started, I didn't look at people's thread management. I just kind of figured you cut it off and, you know, whatever. But I saw the back of somebody's project and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like perfect. Like they didn't have any strings at all. It was like just absolutely everything was perfectly in line. And so it just made me realize that mine was not, basically. And I don't think it matters because no one's looking at the back of this anyway. But it's one of those things, whenever you see that someone else has managed to do that, you're like, for me anyway, I'm like very intrigued and I want to do that too because I see that it can be done. And if it can be done, I mean, that's just part of making your craft better, you know? So I've been trying, since I saw that, to like really, you know, I guess take care and try to be mindful of how I do everything, which is still a hot mess, but basically I think I'm learning as I go on that. But anyways, so this is what I have so far. So it's gonna say open your heart to new adventure, and it obviously is a heart, and then, well, I don't know if it's obvious. It's gonna be a heart whenever it's done. And then, yeah, so I'm about maybe halfway done with it. But it's a really fun pattern. I like it a lot. Like I said, I'm just very slow at it, but yeah. Next thing I have is knitting, and I'm gonna see if I can move my little basket. So the next thing I have is knitting, and I made a whole brand new gnome, and this is the Here We Gnome Again pattern, and this is super fun to knit. It's all over cables, and I'd already had this one mostly done. So back, I guess the end of 2018, probably the beginning of 2019, I had started this little guy, and I had stopped. I didn't know where I had stopped. That was the thing. That's why I made another one. But I didn't know where I had stopped, which apparently was only at the bottom. I didn't know. And so I don't really know why I stopped. I think I stopped because I needed a filler for it, and then I just didn't have it, and whatever, I don't know. Anyway, so I dug this guy out, looked at it, and I was like, I don't know where I am. So I figured the best thing to do was to make a whole other one And that way I could kind of be familiar with the pattern as I was going and kind of watch for where I was on this. You know, hindsight, I probably could have just read through the pattern and actually figured it out. But anyway, whatever, I needed a project anyway. So I made this one out of DK. This one is fingering weight. All of these are leftovers from yarn that I dyed from my shop, Train Check Fiber Designs. This was a limited edition colorway. I don't even remember the name of it. This is quartz, and this is in my shop currently. And then this is Felicity, and I think this is Summertime Sadness. I can't remember really. And then this is Billow, and this is Billow. So, fingering weight, DK. This guy's on a sparkle base, which I don't know if you can tell. I think they're really cute. And this one's actually heavier. I put more beans in him, or pellets, or whatever they're called. Whenever you stuff them, you actually stuff some stuffing, and then you put beans, or whatever they're called, the pellets, and then you put a little bit more stuffing. You put the little bit more stuffing on the bottom so that the pellets won't, you know, like find their way out that little hole that you close it with. I think I put too much stuffing in his butt because he just wants to roll on off of here, and once you get him sat down, he'll sit there, but it's like kind of irritating. So, you know, I'm not gonna do anything to it. It's not that big of a deal. It's not worth it to me to like go undo it and make his beans right. But if you make one, or if you make anything that has to sit, I would definitely maybe consider, as long as you're not giving it to a little kid, I would maybe consider putting beans, or whatever they're called, little pellets in there, and then putting some in a bag maybe at the bottom instead of stuffing it with stuffing again, because it just makes it like, okay, now he's gonna sit up. Anyways, now that I'm trying to tell him he's gonna sit up. This one sits up much better, like on its own, which it's on my knee, so it can't really sit up that great. Anyways, you're just gonna trust me. This one sits up better. But the only alteration that I made to this at all for either of them, whenever I did the arms on this one, I had read through the pattern notes and it said that their arms were supposed to be like kind of curly and whimsy, and I was like, no, I don't want them to be curly arms. That's just not what I wanted. So what I did was I did the normal stitch count for the hands, and then for the arms part, I went up 1 stitch. And it's just the I-cord. And that 1 stitch on the I-cord, it made them just have a little curve rather than like curly. So I think that's really cute. This guy, I was playing yarn chicken like so bad with his hat. This was like leftover from, I don't know, I can't think of the sweater. One of the faded sweaters, but this was leftovers from that, and I thought I had enough and I didn't. So his hat is actually shorter than this guy's hat, which it should technically be longer because it's DK weight and on a bigger needle. So I didn't alter it on purpose though. So I'm not gonna count that as an alteration because I don't know what I did. I just kind of stopped. His hat's not as pointy. But this one has everything right with the exception of the arms. So I think they're cute. And the other alteration this poor little guy had, this guy's like kind of a little bit has problems. So whenever I picked up for his body, I didn't flip the brim up on this like I did on this one. If you can see, I don't even know if you can see this stuff, the camera's so far away, but this one, it has this little brim is flipped up to pick up the stitches. And so it kind of makes a cute little, you know, like a brim of a hat, where I didn't do that on this one. And honestly, I think they both look fine. Like you wouldn't notice it really. No one's gonna notice, wait, that guy's missing his hat brim. But I do prefer the way the pattern's written with the hat brim. I think it looks better if you're making one. So don't miss that step because it's actually way cute. So very, very cute. And now I have 2 little gnomes. I might make a third, I don't know. They're really fun to make. And I'm kind of in a place right now where I'm not really like so wanting to knit sweaters. And I just kind of want to knit something to like, you know, occupy me. I don't really need to knit any more blankets. I have the one blanket that I'm knitting, you know, the big scrappy soft yarn blanket. And I've already made, I have 2 blankets over there that I've knit. I have one on my bed. I kind of don't really need to just use scraps and make blankets. Although it's fun, I kind of just don't feel like I need that many knit blankets. So I might knit a gnome again, or either one of those little birds that I had made before, or something like that. I don't know. But anyways, so I have some sewing to show you. So my sewing is all for Farabee, and I've made a few little things here. So as you know, if you've watched before, Farabee is a service dog in training, and so whenever she goes out, I like to have her vested. And that way, you know, she's labeled that she is a service dog. It keeps people from randomly like touching her and stuff. And also, if for some reason anyone is like, you can't have a dog in here, it's like, she's a service dog, yeah, you can. Which we've actually not encountered that. I'm really surprised because we've gone into some places that I kind of figured people would say something about her, but I guess because of the vest they don't. But I'm just kind of surprised. I don't know, maybe the general population is more knowledgeable about service animals now. I don't know. Anyway, so made her a couple of vests, and the reason I'm trying to make her a different vest is because the ones that we currently have, even though we have one that's kind of mesh on the side, is still very long and it covers a lot of her body up, and it's hot. We live in Georgia. If you can't tell from my hair, it is humid. It's only like in the 80s today, Fahrenheit, but it is so humid that it feels like anything you have on you is like sticking to you. And I know, even though she's a dog, I know that she probably feels that way too, and it just can't feel comfortable. So I kind of feel like I need to make her like the bikini version of a vest, just so that she doesn't have a lot of, you know, parts of her covered with stuff sticking to her, because that's irritating. And I have looked at just getting the harnesses that have service dog written on them, but with how much hair she normally has, she just got a haircut, so she's pretty much naked except for her head and her tail. But with how much hair she usually has, I think that would get covered up and you wouldn't be able to tell us it's service dog. And I have a lot of anxiety about confrontation, and I just don't want to put myself in a position where I'm inviting that type of, you know, behavior towards me. I don't want someone to feel like, wait, that person doesn't have a vest on their dog and come say something. You legally don't have to have a vest, that's a whole other thing, but it just makes me feel better, and I feel like, you know, I don't know, I just feel better. So anyway, on to what I've sewn. So this is the first one I made. I've actually just looked online and kind of gotten ideas from ones that I've seen that other people have made from, you know, for their dogs, and I didn't have a pattern or anything. I just looked and kind of basically I drew it on printer paper and cut it out. And this is the first one. I didn't add straps or Velcro to this one yet because I wasn't really sure about it, basically. I've made it a little too long on this part. It goes down past her sides, so it needs to be about that much shorter. But I'm really excited about a few things. So this was my first time that I can remember installing a zipper, and it's like a legit pocket. I am so proud. So way proud of my pocket. It's like a real pocket. I didn't line this side though, which she's not carrying anything important anyway. This is literally for ADA cards, and like that's basically it. So pocket's awesome. I'm happy with the construction of this one. I really am. The only thing, like I said, I didn't put on my straps yet, which I made it a little bit long. So that's actually fortunate that I didn't put on straps yet, because I'll probably need to cut some of this. And I don't have strap material yet either, so I'm waiting on that. But that's the first one. Cute fabric. It's like lavender flowers and blues and kind of pinks and purples, like very like pastel, super girly stuff. Kind of reminds me of my dress, really. And it had blue jays on it, super cute. And then I did a contrasting bias tape for around the pocket, which I didn't know what bias tape was for. So I thought that bias tape was like for accents around the edges and stuff. Well, turns out, after I got done sewing these last night, I decided I would look and see how do you sew on bias tape, because the next one I'll show you, there's a little snafu. So then I started seeing all the tutorials. It was people putting them like in the inside of like a shirt collar or something like that. And So I don't know why I thought it was to go on the outside for decorations or like on the edges, but mine has it like that. And I mean, I think it's cute. So I don't think it's cute that I messed this up though. But anyway, first one. Second one's this one. And I like the shape of this one a lot. So it's a little bit more rounded. Once again, it's too long. I didn't know until I started looking at strap placement, and then I realized whenever I was trying to look at strap placement that it needs to be up basically here, and it's not supposed to hang past that. So I've made her body's not this long. So anyway, yeah. But once again, zipper. I'm all about sewing on a zipper right now. But the other thing I don't love is the binding stuff that I did. I didn't know what I was doing. Apparently you're not even supposed to do this, come to find out, but I didn't know what I was doing, and whenever I like sewed it, it's like very obvious where it ends. So I didn't add straps to this one yet either. I did add my Velcro though. I was really confident with this one. That's why I went ahead and added the Velcro, but then now I'm gonna have to like rip the Velcro off. The other issue with this one, I'm just gonna tell you all my knitting or my sewing problems. The other issue with this one is the zipper. It was too long. This was like a 14-inch zipper, and I needed like a 7-inch zipper. So I cut it, you know, so it would fit, because I figured, you know, might as well cut it. I had this zipper already. This was in my stash. But whenever I cut it, I didn't think about like, it doesn't have a stopper now. So even though that's kind of sewn in there, if you wanted to, or even if you just were maybe in a hurry, you would totally just pull the pull part off the zipper that way. So this one's gonna have to be redone, and I probably won't put the trim on the edge stuff. But what I am gonna do whenever I use this fabric, because I don't know if you can tell from that far back, but it's a nautical theme, so it has sailboats, and it has like the old school world map, like that like way a long time ago sailor people used. Has nautical stars. You know, it's just very like that sailor vibe, or nautical theme or whatever. Oh, it has an anchor right here too. I like that a lot, but because she is a girl, I think what I'm gonna do is put bows on it, and I'll probably put bows maybe on the corners, so it'll just be like cutesy for her. And yeah, but this is my favorite little section, which I'm sure you can't even tell, but it's an anchor right there. And I like that type of stuff. So the other thing I could do is to do maybe coral or something instead, so be more girly. So anyway, but that's the second attempt. Third attempt's actually much better, but there's still a mistake. So I didn't use patterns for any of these. I just kind of decided to look at stuff and copy. All right, so this one actually fits perfect as far as the length goes, because I realized they were too long. I added a strap, which I'm super proud of this. It took me probably 30 minutes to flip this inside out, because you know how you sew, if you sew this type of thing like the good side is facing, and then you flip it, or at least that's what I did. And it took me forever to flip this. So I don't have a flipper thing. I was just trying to flip it by hand and like poke a knitting needle and pull, and it was a whole thing. But once again, zipper installation that I'm super proud of. I love the contrast of this neon green, because I feel like it picks up the bright green in the fabric really well. And then I did do another contrasting color for the zipper, which I think all this is super cute. I mean, it's meant to get attention, so people will look at the patches and actually read to not pet your dog, or, you know, to not bother her. So I like the bright colors on it. I'm happy with how this turned out. The only thing that I'm not happy with, I haven't added the strap down here because I don't have the little plastic clips, I don't know what they're called, but the plastic clips to actually like snap something. And so I can't add, I don't have webbing either, nylon webbing either, it's on order. But whenever that gets here, I can't basically sew it on here until that's actually here. And I know that the way you should do this is to sew all of those pieces in whenever you're sewing all of this, but this is kind of a prototype anyway, just to see how it fits her. So I you know, just went ahead and did it. And then this was afterthought too, and it turned out fine. So I think I can make it work and it'll be fine. The only thing I would do different on this, I'm still gonna use this, most likely. But the only thing I would do different on this is cut in a little bit more on this. I don't know if you can tell, but it's slightly cut in right here. And I think I would cut in maybe like this much rather than that. I was trying not to make it too extreme so it didn't look ridiculous, but I kind of think I would cut in a little bit more. And then the same thing back here. So it's kind of, if you can tell, it's like a little tapered. So I think I would also make that a little bit more extreme, just, you know, just to be a little bit more obvious. I will still use this though. It fits her really good and it's super cute colors. Our team colors are lavender and pink, and so I like this a lot. I think it's cute. And then I did line it with some bright green fabric that I just had in my stash. So that is all of my sewing projects. And once again, I think this goes with my dress. I don't know if I said that about the first one or not, but I think both of these go with my dress really well. So I think that's everything I have for you guys today. So leave a comment, let me know if you've knit a gnome, let me know if you cross stitch, let me know if you sew, and of course, let me know if you make anything for your dogs, cats, whatever animals you have. I always like to know about that kind of stuff. Thanks for watching. I hope you have an awesome week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye guys.